Hey, what is up guys? GuitarRock here. Welcome back to another Reverse 1999 video. Alright, today's video we're going to talk a little bit about the upcoming banners, at least the next 3 banners, so that we can start to plan ahead, give you guys a better idea about the upcoming 3 characters. Once Millennial banner ends, I'm sure you guys are aware, this is ending in 8 days and 9 hours. So hopefully, making this video can help you guys decide better if you guys are not aware what banners we'll be having right after Millennial banner ends, following the CN banner. Now I'm only going to be talking about the new character, the new red up characters. The next one is going to be Pickles alongside with Baby Blue and Diggers. So Pickles is a very strong support character. We're going to talk a little bit more about him. And then right after Pickles in 1.2, we're going to have Tooth Fairy. Now Tooth Fairy is regarded as one of the best healer in the game, and also she can do insane amount of damage. So should you pull for her? We're going to discuss her shortly. And also 1.2 second banner will feature this character called Changeling. Alright, also a very strong hyper carry if you have Sotobi. Very good pair for a poison team. Now let's talk about each of these characters individually, hopefully give you guys a better idea overall. Now, some of you guys might be wondering if the PT do carry over between these banners. Yes, they do, but only for the same type of banner. You can basically check right here under the record, right? You can basically see there's a time limited banner where the PT should be the same, and then there's a regular banner where if you haven't pulled here, Soneto is the only one that I have. Alright, I didn't really pull on the regular banner at all. This is under time limited banner, and this is going to be under regular banner. So same type of banner do carry the PT over. Now first things first, all 3 of these characters, they are all very strong. If you look at the overall tier list, you can see Pickles is always in the S tier. Same applies for Tooth Fairy. She's much more of a healer, so she's under the survival category. And then we have Changeling, which is a very good damage dealer. All 3 of them have their own role. One is a support, one is more of a healer / cleanser, and then we have a pure damage dealer that relies on poison. So Pickles is going to be a very interesting character. So if you guys are not aware, Pickles has a 1 target attack on the ultimate, and this is going to deal 500% mental damage. Now after Pickles does this mental damage on the ultimate, right? What he does, he will be able to increase damage dealt plus 30% for all allies for 2 rounds. Now if you are in this clarified topic status, the duration of this damage is going to be increased by additional 1 round. So you're getting this damage dealt 30% for 3 rounds essentially. So if you guys are wondering what is the clarified topic, now you get this by not casting any spell, right? For 1 turn. Alright, you just don't take any action in 1 round. You just move the cards around or just use the other 2 characters' cards, and then you get 1 stack of clarified topic. Now every time clarified topic is triggered, Moxie +1 for the caster. That means you're gonna get your ultimate faster. So Pickles at Inside 1 is gonna have this clarified topic mechanic built into it. It means that Pickles is going to be a very AP friendly character. So you can just concentrate on your 2 other characters to shuffle their card around, right? And do their damage, and Pickles, you just, don't move, don't take any action, just let the other 2 characters use their cards. So this makes Pickles a very AP friendly, versatile character because of that. So the 2 other spells right here, you can see this is going to be a 1 target attack, and if you are in this clarified topic status, you're going to do more mental damage. Alright, and then the other skill is a mass attack. You do mental damage to 2 enemies. If the caster is in clarified topic status, this attack has a bonus penetration rate. And if this spell is level 2, Pickles has the ability to dispel the enemy of their stats up, position status, and counter. So this is going to be very unique to Pickles, one of the best ability right now. So dispelling the enemy's buff, which is going to be something that can be very niche or very strong depending on the boss, right? So if the boss have a lot of annoying counter mechanic going on, you have the ability to do that. And I do think that this is going to make Pickles a very solid character overall. And inside 3, you're going to get 2 stacks of clarified topic immediately upon entering battle. So Pickles is a very unique character in that sense. I do think that Pickles is going to be a character that fits into every single team. So here's the thing though, being a damage buffer, 30% is huge. Alright, this is going to help you regardless of your team. Alright, I do think this is going to be one of his best benefits if you are pulling for Pickles. Dispel enemy, I'm yet to see this being useful yet, but I can see not many characters having this ability. So you're going to have a character that perhaps might be future proof depending on if in the future they decided to release a bunch of enemies that can do a lot of buffs, and then you can just abuse Pickles to dispel them. And AP friendly, I do like this as well. This is going to make him very good and fit in a lot of different teams. You will be able to fit him not only in Team 1 or Team 2 in the Limbo if that's what you're trying to target. I like this flexibility on him. Now, the cons for Pickles is going to be he is going to do mental damage. Now, this is going to be a pro for some people. Like for me, I do think that doing mental damage is going to be a pro because I don't really have much mental damage characters based on my roster, right? So if you can see right here, so most of my characters are doing reality damage. The few exceptions are maybe DK right here. She does mental damage. I do think that Pickles can pair that very well. Also, I believe Charlie is also going to do mental damage. So these are the few exceptions. So for me, I do think this is a good thing, but if you already have plenty of characters that are mental damage focused, you also want to consider building some reality damage teams. Now the truth is, there are some characters that Pickles might not synergize with. For example, one that I can think out of my head is going to be Corn Blum. So why Corn Blum? Corn Blum is strictly a reality debuffer. One of her spells right here, this one. So you can see she applies mass debuff where she's going to have all the enemies reduce reality defense by 15% and damage taken plus 15%. So you are able to reduce enemies reality defense, right? Which is really good. However, it doesn't really synergize with Pickles because Pickles does mental damage. Is that going to be that big of a deal? Probably not, but still you don't have the perfect synergy going on right there. One more thing is NNLee do exist. So NNLee might be someone that a lot of players reroll for. So if you want a buffer, NNLee probably already has the ability to give you that, right? So mass buff, damage deal increase plus 20%, damage taken minus 20%, and this lasts for 2 rounds. So NNLee do have the ability to have similar buff as well. So Pickles one is going to be 30%, right, on the ultimate. So it really depends. NNLee also has the damage taken minus 20% at level 2, and at level 3 this is going to last for 2 rounds as opposed to Pickles 3 rounds on occasion. You could probably still pull for both. They are both going to be a very good buffer in one team or the other, but if you have NNLee, there's a chance that you don't need Pickles as much, right? Maybe you're looking for a damage dealer or a healer more than another support character. Now in that case, maybe Tooth Fairy might be better for you. So let's talk about Tooth Fairy if you want a healer. She is going to be one of the better healers in the game. In fact, she's known to be the best healer in the game as far as I know, because she can crit heal, which is kind of insane. Alright, if you look at her skills, Tooth Fairy is a one target attack, 500% multiplier, and this particular attack enjoys 30% crit rate. Now that's insane that she can also, perform some ultimate that does damage and also have the crit rate onto her. She will be able to purify all allies' stats down negative status or control statuses after scoring a critical. Now that's going to be easily doable for her because she will be able to constantly crit all the time if you have the right side cube and stuff on her, right? Now, purify meaning that you are able to remove your characters from debuffs as opposed to Pickles Dispel where Pickle is removing enemies' buffs. Alright, so that's going to be a bit different. So this is going to be much more defensive as opposed to offensive for Pickles. Now she has an ability right here. Alright, you can see one target attack on one of the debuff where she does mental damage and gives target 1 stack of confusion. If you guys are not aware, confusion basically reduces enemies' critical resistance by 25%, and this can be stacked as well. Mass healing on one of the best skills ever. You can see this skill scales off attack, and the heal enjoys 30% crit rate. So that means she can easily crit heal. One of the few characters that can do that. She's going to be a very insane healer, perhaps one of the best right now actually, because of how healing crit. As far as I know, Sotobi's healing cannot crit because Sotobi's one is a bit, it's not an instant heal. But if a character can instant heal, then they have the ability to crit. So her mechanic is very synergistic with a lot of crit characters. If you look at her inside one, so right here, upon entering battle, immediately gain 3 baby tooth. When any ally activate or cast a skill, she will gain 1 baby tooth. Right? So when the round begins, she's going to spend 5 baby tooth. So once you reach 5, and this will be able to reduce enemies 15% critical resistance rate and 15% critical defense for all the enemies. So I thought this is pretty insane, alright? And this is going to last for 1 round. This cannot be triggered if you don't have enough stacks for the baby tooth, however. So the ability to straight up reduce enemies 15% crit resist rate and crit defense is invaluable. Alright, you don't need to rely on someone like Eric or something to reduce enemies critical defense. So Lilia, Regulus, which is a very crit heavy character, they both can benefit from this tremendously. And inside 3 you can see when stat debuff effect of baby tooth is triggered, heals all allies for 10% of HP loss. Upon entering battle, gain 2 additional baby tooth. So if you are able to inside 3 her, she basically gains the 5 baby tooth immediately. So inside 3 her, she will be able to gain this immediately, and everybody's crit resist rate and crit defense at the beginning of the round minus 15%. I thought that was pretty crazy. If you are a whale, it seems like hers might actually be one of the better ones to get dupes off. You can see at Portrait 2, right? She will be able to increase the duration of this crit resist and crit defense by 1 more round. So that means she will be able to do this for 2 rounds debuff. That is kind of crazy. If you go all the way to Portrait 5, the crit resist and crit defense reduction will be increased to 25% as opposed to 15%. So it's going to be very insane pairing with these characters that relies on crit, and I do think that's going to be one of a pro. So here's the thing, the pros that she has, she can purify allies. As far as I know, not many characters has this either. So that's going to be something that's different, right? So good synergy with crit teams, I do like this a lot. And there's lots of heal. Best healer probably due to her high crit. So if you are looking for a healer, then yeah, she's going to be a very good one. So that is also going to be a little bit of her cons as well. So there's a chance that if you are trying to tackle the end game right now, Limbo, you're going to require 2 teams. So there's a chance that you already have 2 healers, alright? Some of you probably already have DK. You know, you already invested on DK, she's going to be one of your healer. And then one more healer, maybe a Balloon Party. Or in my case, I've sort of be already. So, you know, like there's a very high chance that unless you start in 1.2 itself, you might already have 2 healers built. Unless you build in Last Source, which is a 3-star healer, then you're looking to upgrade that, then it makes a lot of sense. One more thing also is going to be a little bit more expensive to invest on support characters. If you guys are not aware, Inside 3 is very, very expensive, and ideally you want to focus on the damage dealers first. Now if you get her, I feel like she's going to be one of the characters that might require Inside 3 early on because of how the baby tooth effect works, right? And ideally this is going to be a very important factor. So granted, she's going to come later in 1.2, so still have plenty of time to save up. And if you plan carefully, there's a chance that this is not going to be a problem at all. So I do think that Baby Tooth, if you need a healer, she is going to be the best one available even until 1.4 in CN right now. So that's one thing to consider. Now after the banner ends, for Tooth Fairy, you can see this is going to come later on. We are going to have a little bit of short break, and Changeling is going to come right after. So this is where it's going to get a little bit interesting. So what is Changeling all about, right? So Changeling is a plant type. She's going to be a 6-star, obviously. She's going to be a very poison heavy character overall, right? As you can see, she's going to do a mass attack, deals reality damage. She can inflict poison for 2 turns. Very, very good. What I like about poison is it can also stack, alright? Now her skill is very straightforward. You can see right here, 1 target attack and she's gonna do reality damage. And if the target is already in poison state, this is gonna deal additional reality damage. And each additional poison stack after that raises the reality damage done by an additional 30%. Up to 60% reality damage increase. This is at level 2 by the way. So ideally, if you have Changeling, she perhaps is going to be one of the best carry in the game. Even until now, in 1.4, she is still really, really strong, and she will be able to help you do a lot of damage. If you're looking for a pure damage dealer, she's going to be very, very strong. Now, you ideally want to stack poison, and Sotobi, if you have Sotobi, obviously, you can pair very, very well together. Sotobi will be able to heal and, you know, stack poison for you, while Changeling can also stack poison herself, right? Now, her one more ability, Visit from Friends, you can see she also does reality damage. And if the target is inflicted with stats down, negative status, or control, she will do additional reality damage. So that is a lot of crazy stuff going on. She relies heavily on another character that can do poison or preferably perform debuffs. So that way she will be able to get these bonuses most of the time. Alright, this is really cool. And I do like that she has a passive skill herself where her insight allows her to be able to do additional damage 20%. Alright, this is a lot. 20% additional damage increase for enemies that's under the poison state, right? After entering combat at the start of every third round. 1, 3, 6, 9. She will be able to inflict poison on all enemies for 2 rounds. And remember, this can stack as well. Poison can stack in this game. It's really crazy. This is not counting the damage that she does from the poison ticks. So that's going to be very crucial as well. So her insight 3, after attacking an enemy that is not under the poison state, she is going to inflict poison on it for 2 rounds. So this is very cool. So she can basically do that. If enemy don't have poison, she will immediately be able to apply that for 2 rounds. She's going to be very easy to build. She doesn't rely on crit. If you guys are not aware, something that I think a lot of players are not aware, how poison works in this game, it is based off Genesis damage. Alright, based on the 30% of the caster's attack. So this is something that I think a lot of players might not be aware yet. So Genesis damage is like a true damage in this game. So it doesn't scale lesser if the enemy has higher defense, right? So it's like a different source of damage. Like we have reality damage, we have mental damage, and we have Genesis damage. So it's like a true damage in this game. So it will always deal the fixed amount of damage, which I think is pretty cool considering that you can stack that. That is going to be quite easy to build. You don't have to worry about building her in a very different manner, right? Or you don't have to worry about debuffs as much. So she's going to be very friendly for a lot of players if you're looking for a cheap damage dealer. Now, while she does have all of these pros, and you know, I do agree that she's going to be one of the best carry in the game and very good with Sotobi, and poison is very good and can stack because of Genesis damage. That's going to be a lot of overall damage output. If you don't have Sotobi, however, you might not be able to benefit fully from her kit, right? So you might have to wait for 1.3 if you don't have Sotobi. You have to wait for this character called Kanjira, which is another character that can perhaps, apply poison. So this is a character later on in 1.3. If you don't have Sotobi, she's the few characters besides Sotobi that can do poison as well, as you can see right here, right? So she has poison, and she also has confusion, which is very interesting. So Kanjira is another debuffer. Maybe you can consider that, although that means you're gonna need a separate healer on your own. So that's gonna be something to consider. Sotobi just complements Changeling the best because Sotobi is a healer and also, you know, someone that can apply poison. It just completes the team for you. So the other one you can just slot in whoever. So overall, these are the pros and cons for all of these 3 characters. Changeling, Tooth Fairy, and also Pickles. Now, obviously, all of us have different team composition and all of us are probably looking forward to different characters. If you're looking for waifu, probably Tooth Fairy, and Changeling is going to make a lot of sense with you. Although Changeling is going to need Sotobi. If you have Sotobi, definitely go for Changeling. Makes a lot of sense. If you are looking for a healer, Tooth Fairy makes a lot of sense. One of the best healer in the game. Alright, best 6-star healer. Probably you will be able to future-proof yourself. If you have Medicine Pocket already, however, you probably don't need Tooth Fairy as much, and then you can consider Balloon Party or DK on your other team, right? And then Pickles, I do think is still going to be a very good pick actually for a lot of characters. With a few exceptions, like I said, if you have Lee, alright? Or probably if you don't care about building mental damage buffer as much, you prefer something more reality focused, I can see Pickles might not be for you. But hey, overall, that's my thoughts on all 3 of these banners. They are all really good. I don't think you'll go wrong with either, personally. So I personally am going to pull for Pickles, and we'll see. Hopefully, I do think mine is guaranteed because I did got Druvis 3 recently. So my next one is going to be guaranteed. It's no longer 50-50 because the first one is going to be 50-50. So if you're free to play, please plan carefully your clear drops, alright? Don't spend all of them all at once. Alright, with that being said, that's going to be it for this video. Subscribe if you guys haven't already. Give this video a like, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a nice day. Goodbye.